corruption. This is the reality. And then I think also that when the government accused the EFCC chairman of abuse of his office, issues like disobedience to court orders must have come in, because where a court orders you to release property that you seized from a complainant, since you are not above the law as the chairman of EFCC, it makes no sense for you to continue to hold on to that property in complete disobedience to the order of the court. So that, in my view, amounts to abusing one's office. Another critical issue has to do with the EFCC under Bauer going against the 2004 Act that set up the EFCC to turn itself to a revenue collecting agency. There is nothing in the Act setting up the EFCC that mandates it to collect revenue on behalf of any agency of government. That agency of government, like the NDDC, for example, the EFCC is believed to companies operating in the Niger Delta from gas companies, with the sum total of money collected in the region of 500 billion naira. There is nothing in the law setting up the EFCC that permits it to serve as a revenue collecting agency. How they came to be going around collecting revenue on behalf of the NDDC that is already neck deep in corruption is something that I find hard to understand. And as we speak, the EFCC has not accounted for the more than 480 billion naira that it is believed to have received on behalf of the NDDC, because a critical component of the funding of the NDDC is the 3% of profits of oil companies operating in the oil-bearing states, and of course gas companies. Now, EFCC has not accounted for the monies that it collected on behalf of the NDDC. They've not accounted at all, and they are supposed to account for the monies, account completely for the money, but they've not accounted at all. And when journalists ask this question, that how much have you received on behalf of the NDDC? Have you remitted what you have received? The angry reaction of the EFCC was that the NDDC had not complained. So does it mean that because the NDDC did not complain, then Nigerians who are aware of the fact that you infringe on the law by taking it upon yourself to collect revenue on behalf of the NDDC, Nigerians who know that you have infringed on the law have the right to ask questions. How much have you collected? Why did you even decide to go into collection of revenue for the NDDC in the first place? NDDC is the agency mandated by law to collect this money from those oil companies. But the EFCC took it upon itself to do that. I don't know whether from what have been collected, the EFCC officials, including the chairman, had been paid some percentage for monies collected. But this whole thing has remained shrouded in secrecy. There is no accountability. No one is stepping forward to say, oh, the EFCC helped us to collect the social amount from Shell. This is how much they collected from Saipem. This is how much they collected from other oil companies operating in the Niger Delta area. There are no words. No one is told that this is how much they collected. No one has been told whether there is an agreement to pay the EFCC some percentage for the money. I mean, for EFCC officials, some percentage for the money that they collected on behalf of the NDDC. So, if indeed the NDDC agreed to part with some percentage of that money, it will then be clear that the motive behind contravening the act, the 2004 act setting up the EFCC, is the desire to make tons of cash. So Bawa has to explain why he bypassed the law setting up the EFCC to turn the EFCC under his watch to a revenue collecting agency for one of the most corrupt federal government establishments, which is the NDDC. So there is a lot that Bawa has to explain while in detention. Hopefully, it will be brought face to face with some of the people who have accused him of collecting money from them. One thing that is said to be happening in the EFCC is that sometimes when there are many arrests that are made that are never made public. Some will go ahead, settle the EFCC officials, and then they'll be released.
Yeah.
That is why you see some EFCC officials living far above their means, far above the wages that they earn. So, and some of these people, sometimes even when they have paid some money, they still get harassed. These are the categories of people using some NGOs to attack the EFCC. You can see that the EFCC is being routinely attacked by some NGOs. It is politicians that are using some of those NGOs to attack the EFCC. And why are they doing this? Because in some cases, they will have paid money, yet the officials will still not stop harassing them. So to pay the EFCC back in its coins, they've been using using some NGOs to draw attention to some of the terrible things happening in the EFCC. I think that beyond Bawa's arrest, there is a need to sanitize the EFCC and make it good enough to be able to live up to its mandate.
Right, BKO.
And ensure that it becomes stronger as an organization that will be truly independent and would be free from political interference, because we can't run away from political interference in the affairs of the EFCC. Politicians opposed to the ruling party. Yes, right. Some members of the ruling party have also been arrested, some have even been jailed. But the EFCC needs to be sanitized because corruption is evident in the EFCC, and the EFCC has to be made far more accountable than it is currently. You see stuff from people, and no one knows how some of the things seized end up. This has always been an issue. Where are some of the things that you have seized?
Right, BKO.
Where did the money go?